There's a person who became an expert in reading the room before they even knew the alphabet. You listen to the silences in a conversation, hearing the unspoken words, the shifts in tone. You're the one who anticipates a need. You get the glass of water before anyone else says they're thirsty. When someone asks, "How are you?" you often pause. You're scanning their mood first to know which answer is safe. Your own feelings often feel secondary, like a task you'll get to later when everyone else is settled. You replay old memories, not just for nostalgia, but to analyze them, to see where you could have managed things better. This isn't a choice you made. It's an internal operating system, the deep, quiet programming of a child who grew up too fast. You were given responsibilities that weren't yours to carry. Not always physical tasks, but emotional ones. The role of the stable one. And so, you learned to become an adult in miniature. You mastered calm while your own inner world was anything but. This journey isn't about blaming the past. It's about understanding the person it shaped you into. It's about finding the off switch for that constant low-level vigilance you carry in your shoulders. Perhaps you find yourself in a crowded room and you feel like a spectator, watching everyone else perform. You hear the loud laughter, the easy conversations, and it feels like a language you never quite learned to speak. Your inner world, by contrast, is deep and complex. It's a library of observations, feelings, and carefully filed away truths. You are often the anchor in someone else's storm, the person they call when things fall apart. You know how to validate their chaos, how to offer the perfect, stabilizing sentence, but you rarely, if ever, show them your own. You've learned that your needs can be disruptive, so you compartmentalize. You present a face of competence and calm, while inside, you're processing everything. This is the core tension, the capable exterior you show the world, and the quiet, often tired observer within. This isn't just a feeling. It has a name in psychology. It's the experience of parentification. It's when a child, emotionally or practically, takes on the role of the parent. You became the mediator, the confidant, the problem solver, the one who remembered to pay the bill. Your brain adapted. It developed a state of hypervigilance, a radar, always on, scanning for threats. Even now, you walk into a quiet house and you know something is wrong just by the placement of a pair of shoes. This constant scanning is exhausting. It's a cognitive load that you carry, one that others don't seem to have. Research on attachment shows how deeply these early roles shape us. You learned a specific kind of love. You learned that love means doing. It means fixing. It means being useful. The idea of being loved for simply existing can feel foreign, almost unbelievable. So you find yourself drawn to people who need fixing, or to situations that require managing. Chaos feels familiar. Calm, true, uncomplicated calm that can actually feel unsettling. You might notice you're a terrible patient. When you get sick, you feel guilty. You apologize for needing care. Receiving a gift can be awkward. Your first thought is often, what must I do to repay this? Vulnerability feels like a failure of management, a lapse in your defenses. This is the quiet pain of the hyper-responsible, a profound, deep-seated loneliness. It's the feeling of being the lighthouse, strong, solitary, guiding others, but rooted in one place. And there is a longing, a deep, quiet ache for a childhood that feels unlived, a longing to be spontaneous, to do something just because it's fun, not because it's productive or necessary, a longing to be held unconditionally, to be able to fall apart just for a moment and know you will be caught. But your empathy, the very thing that caused this, is also your burden. You feel everything. You walk into a room and absorb the emotional temperature. You take on others' anxiety as your own. This is why you get so tired. Not just physically, but emotionally. A soul-level exhaustion. You've spent a lifetime being the strong friend, and you've forgotten how to be the friend who needs help. It's hard to trust that others want to be there for you. It feels safer to just Handle it yourself. You might reread an email 10 times, checking the tone, making sure you haven't offended anyone. You apologize for things that aren't your fault. You say sorry when someone bumps into you. This is the weight, but it is not the entire story, because this path also gave you gifts. These aren't just coping mechanisms. They are genuine, profound strengths. You have an empathy that is almost psychic. You don't just hear people, you understand them deeply. This makes you an incredible friend, a compassionate colleague, and a deeply insightful human being. You see patterns that no one else sees. You connect the dots. You are a natural systems thinker. You are also fiercely resilient. You have weathered emotional storms that would break others. You are still standing. Your competence isn't an act. You are genuinely capable. You know how to get things done, how to create order from chaos. You create safety for people. Your presence is calming. You are the eye of the storm. The world needs people with your depth, people who listen, people who notice, people who care this much. The journey now is not to lose these gifts, but to stop paying for them with your own peace. It's about learning to build a boundary, not a wall, but a small, gentle fence. A fence with a gate where you can choose who and what you let in. This starts with a simple, revolutionary practice, the pause. Before you say yes to a request, you can just wait, breathe. In that pause, you can ask yourself a quiet question. Is this mine to carry? You don't always have to be the fixer. Sometimes you can just be the witness. You can say, that sounds so hard, instead of, here's how you fix it. This is an act of profound self-kindness. It's giving yourself the one thing you always gave others, grace. Another ritual, actively scheduling nothing. Time that is not for productivity, chores, or helping. This will feel uncomfortable at first. You might feel restless, even guilty. That's the old programming. Stay with it. This nothing time is where your own needs finally have room to speak. Perhaps it's just 5 minutes, staring out the window with a cup of tea you wanted. It's about reparenting yourself, giving that inner child the things they missed. This can mean playing again, not a structured sport, but something pointless and joyful. Listening to music from your youth, dancing in the kitchen, buying the crayons. These small acts are not frivolous. They are neurological repairs. They are building new pathways in your brain. They are teaching the hyper-vigilant part of you that the threat is gone, that it is safe to rest. You can learn to identify your own feelings, to name them. I feel tired. I feel sad. I feel happy. You don't have to do anything about them. Just noticing them is enough. It's an act of validation. This is how you begin to fill your own cup, and you'll find it doesn't make you less empathetic. It makes your empathy sustainable. You can give from a place of fullness, not from a place of debt. You are not broken. You are a person who adapted perfectly to an imperfect situation. That adaptation, that responsibility, is a part of your story, but it is not the whole story. Chapters about rest, chapters about joy, chapters about receiving. Your worth was never based on your usefulness. It was always inherent. It was there from the very first breath. The responsible child inside you doesn't need to be banished. They just need to be relieved of duty. You can thank them for their service, for keeping you safe, for getting you this far. And then you can let them know that you've got it from here. The adult you has arrived. You can be the one to protect them, finally, to give them the childhood they waited for. This integration is the deepest form of healing, the responsible child and the free adult coexisting. You are not too sensitive. You are not too serious. You are precisely calibrated. Your depth is a gift. Your observation is a gift. Your quiet, powerful presence is a gift. As you move forward, may you do so with a new lightness. May you learn the beautiful, radical art of putting your own name on your to-do list. May you find comfort in your own silence. without the need to fill it for someone else. May you finally give yourself permission to just be. You have carried enough. It is time to rest. It is time to receive. Your quiet wisdom is needed in this world, but it is most needed now by you. Be gentle with your journey. It has been a long one. You are, and have always been, more than enough. Rest now. You've earned it. There's a quiet kind of person who learned to read the air in a room, the way others learn to read a book. You learned that safety meant anticipating the needs, the moods, the coming storms of others. You became the emotional barometer, the one who knew, instinctively, when to be quiet, when to be helpful. When you were young, play often felt like a lower priority. There were more important things to manage. You were praised for being so mature, such an old soul. It felt good, but also isolating. You were the one who remembered the permission slip, who packed the lunches, who mediated the fights. And this identity, the capable one, became a fortress, safe, but lonely. Now, as an adult, the world still feels loud, full of demands and noise. People come to you with their problems. You are a good listener, which often means you rarely get to speak. You nod, you validate, you ask the right questions. You are the unpaid therapist, and after they leave, feeling lighter, you are left carrying the weight they set down. Your own inner world is rarely visited by others. You haven't built a clear path to it. It's not that you don't want to share. It's that you've learned your needs are complex and often too much. It feels easier to just manage it all internally. Your self-sufficiency is a shield. This is the psychological imprint of emotional parentification. You were your parents' confidant or your sibling's protector. Your nervous system is wired for this role. It's in a constant state of threat assessment. This is why true relaxation feels impossible. Your body is always on duty. You might struggle with indecision over small things, like what to eat for dinner. It's because you've spent a lifetime prioritizing others' preferences. You've lost touch with your own. What do I want? Feels like a trick question, a question you're not allowed to answer. And this leads to the deep ache, the longing for ease, the longing to have just one day where you are not responsible for the emotional equilibrium of the entire room. The pain is real. The exhaustion is valid. It is the echo of a marathon you never signed up for. You may find yourself deeply moved by small kindnesses, a stranger holding a door, a friend remembering a small detail. It touches you so deeply because it's the very thing you crave, to be seen, without having to perform. But let's look at the other side of this coin. Your wiring also gave you gifts. You have an incredible capacity for empathy. You don't just sympathize, you feel with people. You're observant. You notice the new haircut, the nervous tick, the unspoken sadness. You see people. You're reliable. When you say you will do something, you do it. Your word is gold. You are intuitive. Your gut feeling is a highly tuned instrument, trained by years of data collection. You are a natural leader. Even if you are a quiet one, people trust you. They feel safe around you. These are not small things. These are the qualities that build deep, meaningful lives and communities. The goal isn't to get rid of these strengths. The goal is to build a container for them, a container that protects you, so you can have these gifts without them draining you dry. This begins with small, private acts of recalibration, simple, gentle rituals, a gentle invitation. When you wake up, before you check your phone, just lie still for 1 minute. In that minute, just notice. Notice the light. Notice the sound of the air. Notice your own breathing. This is not meditation. This is just arriving in your own body before the world rushes in. Another invitation. Find one useless thing to do today. Something with no goal. Maybe it's watching the clouds. Maybe it's listening to a song with your eyes closed. This is an act of rebellion against the programming that says your value is in your productivity. You can also practice compassionate detachment. You can care deeply about someone without taking responsibility for them. You can't do their emotional work for them. It is okay to let someone be in their pain and just sit with them. You don't have to fix it. This is, in fact, a greater gift. It shows you trust their resilience, and you must, in turn, learn to trust your own. You're allowed to ask for help. Start small. Could you grab me a glass of water? Can you listen for a moment? I don't need advice. Notice the discomfort this brings, the feeling of being a burden, and then let it go. You are not a burden. You are a human being with human needs. Your needs are as valid as the needs of those you've spent your whole life caring for. This is the journey home, to yourself. It is not about changing who you are. It is about claiming all of who you are. The capable part, the tired part, the observant part, the part that just wants to play. You're the adult you've been waiting for. The one who can finally say to that inner child, "You can rest now. I'll take it from here. You are safe." Imagine that relief, the deep, full body exhale. This is not a one-time event. It is a practice, a daily gentle returning. Some days, the old vigilance will return. That's okay. It's just a habit. Notice it without judgment and gently guide your attention back to your breath, back to this present moment where perhaps nothing is actually wrong. You are allowed to be here. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to be imperfect, messy, and unsure. You no longer need to perform for your right to exist. Your presence, quiet as it is your power. The world is noisy, but you have depth. You have stillness. Hold on to that. Cultivate it. It is your anchor. And let it be an anchor that grounds you, not one that weighs you down. You have a unique understanding of the human heart, forged in a difficult fire. It has made you wise. It has made you kind. And now it is time to turn that wisdom and that kindness inward. You are not just the sum of what you do for others. You are a complete person, all on your own. Your story is not one of damage. It is one of profound, incredible adaptation. And the next part of that story is about freedom. The freedom to rest, the freedom to choose, the freedom to be just you. So be gentle with yourself. The world was harsh enough. You are your own sanctuary now. Make it a kind and quiet place to be. You have always been the observer. Now, observe your own light. It is brighter than you know. Rest well. You are finally home. There is a deep, resonant strength in the person who learned to be still. While the world was in motion, you learned to hold the center, to be the calm in the chaos. This was your survival, and it became your identity. But you are not just the rock. You are also the water that flows around it. You are allowed to be soft. You are allowed to change shape. That child who took on so much, they are still in there.